Hello, my friends and my fellow automation fans and engineers, and of course, welcome to this very awesome and special video. Yes, my friends, we are back with Diesel. This time, my friends, we are back with Diesel because this time it's available for everyone that is watching this video. It's available for me, for you, for everyone that is watching this video right now. You can download it, you can enjoy it, you can have so much fun with it, my friends. Thanks, of course, to the creator of this awesome mod, which is Mr. Batteryman. This guy is just, how can I say it, he's just awesome in every single way. He gave us in the past, he gave us supercharging, nitrous oxide, and many crazy things in automation game that we have seen in the past. And now, of course, he is giving us this awesome gift, which is of course the Diesel mod, so we can have diesels in our, of course, automation game. I've talked about this mod before in a previous video. As you can see right here, you can click this circle, you can see what I'm talking about. But the last time we couldn't download it, we could download this file because it was not ready yet. But now it's ready. You can everyone is watching this video, you can download it, you can have so much fun with it, and of course you can create your awesome diesel machines. So my friends, as always, enjoy this video, and of course let's go step by step together, exploring this mod and of course seeing what Mr. Batteryman did. So let's begin, my friend. So let's see, Mr. Batteryman, he created this awesome mod, and he created some very awesome things inside it to help you creating your first diesel vehicle. Because as we all know, automation developers, they didn't give us the diesel fuel and engines yet in their game, which is really unfortunate because everyone has been asking about it, but they are not ready yet, or maybe it's not coming. Who knows what the developers will do. Anyway, it's really different, so you need to pay attention, so you don't miss anything, and so you can of course enjoy it and of course have so much fun with it. So as you can see, Mr. Batteryman gave us the the diesel DIY mod. As you can see, when you download this file, you need of course, it's a WinRAR file, so you need WinRAR program to open it, or WinZip, or whatever program you can use. And of course, when you open it, you will find these files here. Before you do anything, you can of course open the README first and learn about it. Learn about many things inside it. Or of course, you can watch this video because I will go step by step exploring this mod. So for our new friends that, if you are new to automation game, you really don't want to mess with anything, you just want diesel outside the box, you just want diesel to run on your BeamNG game and your automation game, you can just take these 3 demo files, drop them in your, of course, in your documents, into my games folder, into automation game folder, and you're in the import folder. You can drop these files in, so you can find them in the sandbox mod in your automation game. So let's open the sandbox. As you can see, these are the 3 DIY files. As you can see, after you import them, you can find them here. If you are new to the automation game, if you don't want to mess with anything, you just want to create a car quickly so you can have so much fun with diesel, you can use these 3 files. Depends on what type of engine you want to use, because we have only 3 engines currently that we can use to create diesel. We have only inline 4 or inline 6, or of course a V8. Those are the 3 types of engines that we can use. Unfortunately, nothing else we can use. No V12s, no V16s, no inline 5, nothing will work except inline 4, inline 6, and V8. So let's open one of these 3 files and explore them together. Now, if you're not planning to use those 3 files, you can skip this step by of course pressing on the timetable or the time thing in the description below if you want to skip this step. But if you want to see what those files are on about, you can just keep watching this step. So let's open the inline 4 demo. As you can see, Mr. Batteryman has provided us with like a basic body, and of course a basic turbocharged inline 4 that will serve us very well as a diesel engine. This is a basic file, as you can see, starting from the beginning. basic body, basic chassis, basic absolutely everything. This is the engine. It's a 2.9 liter cast iron double overhead camshaft, whatever. As you can see, Mr. Batteryman created this very simple, and as you can see, look at the the low end torque, super torquey at the low end, which is what a diesel engine is. But don't worry, this is just a dummy engine. This is a dummy engine. It's not functional. It's just a dummy engine, just so you can tune your gearbox, because diesel engines, they don't rev similar to petrol engines. They rev very low. As you can see, everything is ready. Absolutely everything is ready. You can keep it like this, or you can tweak the suspension, the tires. You can tweak all of that, the brakes. If you are not happy with them, everything, you can tweak it. You can just select your favorite body, and that's pretty much it. You can select your favorite body, keep the engine, keep the gearbox, keep absolutely everything. But of course, you can tweak this car. You can put fixtures on it the way you like it and everything. And then before you export it, when you are happy with it, when you are super happy with it, and when you want to export it to BeamNG.Drive, you need to do a little thing before you export it, which is, of course, you need to go NA. I'm not kidding. Before, when you are happy with the car, the body, and the rims, and the suspension tune, and absolutely everything, yeah, but don't touch the gearbox if you are planning to use this file, because this file is ready. The gearbox, the engine, everything is ready, except, you know, the suspension. If you want to tweak it, it's up to you. But remember, if you want to export this car, if you are happy with it, you want to export it, you need to go naturally aspirated. Before you do that, you press this button here, go naturally aspirated, and then you press the export button, but don't touch anything. After you go NA, don't touch anything, export it to BeamNG, and that's pretty much it for all three demo files. A lot of you will say this is a very rubbish gearbox tune on this engine. Yes, I'm agreeing with you. I agree with you. This is a really rubbish gearbox tune for this engine, than this natural aspirated crappy engine running on petrol. But when we tweak it to run on diesel, oh, this thing would just be super different. So don't worry about it. 0% wheel spin, this rubbish gearbox tune, don't worry about it. Just remember, after you finish using your favorite body, you're tuning absolutely everything except the gearbox, go naturally aspirated, and then of course export your car to BeamNG.Drive. And that is Mr. Batteryman's recommended thing to do. If you want something simple and something will work easily, you can use those diesel DIY files in your BeamNG, in your automation game. So this is Mr. Batteryman way. Right now, let's move on to my way, the way that I did my cars, that I did my diesel cars, because Mr. Batteryman's way is awesome. It will work, but they are not as fast and not as good handling as my cars, as you will be seeing. No offense to Mr. Batteryman, he's a very awesome guy, but this is my own special, my own tweaking. So if you want to follow my way, it's really simple. Just press a new model, create your awesome car the way you like it, the way you absolutely like it. So let me give you an example. So this is the, where is it? Here we go. This one. Okay. So this is the OME Maserati, which is a cool hatchback that we have created, me and Mr. OME together, for the hatchback 1987 challenge. It was really awesome, turbocharged, and absolutely awesome in every single way. So what I did here is very easy. This is the diesel version that I've created. As I've mentioned, my way, which you can create your car, your dream car from scratch. Select your favorite body, your favorite chassis, everything. And now let's move on to the engine. Again, remember, you have to use an inline 4 or an inline 6 or a V8. That's it. Nothing else will work. Remember that, my friends. So here I selected an inline 4, as you can see. So I've selected an inline 4, the capacity that I want, which is of course a 2 liter, a little bit high stroke, so I can get more torque. Of course, remember guys, any kind of horsepower and torque in automation game, you will never see that in the diesel version. The diesel version will have its own horsepower and torque. So remember, even if you have 1,000 horsepower here, when you put the diesel tune on this engine, you will get only like 100 horsepower. So don't go crazy with the horsepower. You need to make sure your engine is as torquey as possible at the low end. And the reason for that is so you can have a similar gearbox tune as perfectly tailored for a diesel engine. So as you can see, what I did here is I've chosen let's see, a cast iron block, aluminum cylinder head, something realistic, forged internals. Yes, I know a lot of you in the comments will say diesel engines, they have 14.0 to 1 compression ratio, 16 or 20 or whatever. I know, I promise you, I know that diesel engines, they have tons and tons of high compression ratio. But remember, this is a dummy engine. This is a dummy engine that we are using here to tune the gearbox only. Just the gearbox. I mean, the whole point of creating a dummy engine is just to tune the gearbox, so that gearbox will work perfectly with the diesel engine. What I did is, as you can see, a very basic engine, turbocharged. I went so efficient with the turbo. This is as low as the turbo will spin. As you can see, 2,400 or really 2,500 RPM. Here the turbo will kick in, and of course you will have all the power and all the boost. And because this is a 1987 car, remember that this is not a modern car, and basically you can use the diesel engine on any year. Even if you are creating something from the 1940s, it will work. Don't worry about it. So what I did is a very look at that, very small turbine, very efficient turbo, just to make sure that we have nice amount of torque. As you can see, 230 pound-feet of torque, and nice amount of horsepower, which is like 148, 150-ish horsepower engine. I'm using a single throttle body. Use whatever fuel you want. If you want to go like a 98 or 100, you can do that. It's up to you, my friend. But this is a very important bit, which is RPM. Now, Mr. Batteryman, he went with a 5,000, I don't know, something-ish RPM limit, which can work. But my advice to you, go with 4,000 or 4,300 RPM. That's it. Don't go higher than this. You will get super amount of benefits when you do that. I promise you. So go 4,000 or 4,300. And after you finish with your engine, you are happy with the low end torque and everything. Now the gearbox. This is a very important bit. Remember, RPM limit is 4,000 or 4,300, depends on what is your RPM limit. Those are my recommendations, 4,000 or 4,300. Now, what I want is like a 200 kilometers per hour car. I don't want something less than that. So what I did is I selected a top speed of 207 kilometers per hour. And as you can see, the first gear can top on 50 kilometers per hour, second gear 78, third gear 112. Which is perfect for a diesel engine. And remember, you need to have 0% wheel spin, absolutely zero, 0.1, and it's gonna be like 50% in BeamNG. Your car will just spin out and crash. So you need to have 0% wheel spin. Then you select whatever differential type you want, vicious, geared, whatever suits you. You can go rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, 4x4, front-wheel drive. It's up to you, my friend. Anything you want. But remember, 0% wheel spin. I don't care which drive type you want to use. It's up to you. But this needs to be 0. Now you need to tune your tires. Select whatever tires you want, whatever materials, whatever brakes, absolutely anything you want. Whatever the aerodynamics, whatever seats, anything. Your suspension, make sure everything is as good as you like it, with 4,300 RPM limit and 0% wheel spin. Now, the car that you have built, you are happy with the car, you are happy with the engine, you are happy with the turbo and everything you are happy with absolutely everything. Now what you do is you need to export your car. Now you have two options before you export your car. You can export it with the automation turbo, or you can do as those demo files. You can go naturally aspirated and then export your car. The reason that you have those two options, because because in BeamNG.Drive, as I've mentioned, whatever amount of horsepower you have here with the petrol engines, you will never ever get that with the diesel engine. You will get something absolutely so different. So that means the turbos that you have here in an automation game, those two turbos or this single turbo, is just cosmetic. It's just a 3D model. Yeah. And this 3D model, this thing, that this turbocharger, this system here, all these pipes, the intercooler, all these things, they do have weight, and this weight will be added to the diesel turbocharger. So you'll have like twin weights, double the weight of, because you are using a single turbo on this inline 4 when you have that diesel engine, but you'll have double the weight, because I know this is just a 3D model, but I did test that in BeamNG.Drive, and I found out that this 3D model does actually weigh something, and your car will be a little bit heavier. Like for example, on the V8 you will have an extra 100 kilograms extra if you keep this turbo in, and on the inline 6 you will have a little bit less, and on the inline 4 you will have also a little bit less than that. So it's up to you. If you want to use the 3D model of the automation engine in BeamNG.Drive, you can keep the turbo and go realistic, because you are using this 3D model to run your car. But if you don't want this extra weight, you can disable it by going NA here and then export your car. And then in BeamNG.Drive, if you want to go natural aspirated, job done. You can go diesel natural aspirated, because your engine is natural aspirated. There is no turbo on it. But if you want to choose something special, you can choose the BeamNG engine 3D model. You can replace this engine with another 3D model from BeamNG.Drive. You can shove it under the hood and use that 3D model, which we'll be of course talking about when we move on to BeamNG. So it's up to you. If you want to use this 3D model, this engine 3D model in your car with the connected exhaust and everything, keep the turbo, keep absolutely everything, but your car will be a little bit extra heavy. But if you are planning to go natural aspirated on the diesel, or if you are planning to use the 3D BeamNG model instead of this one, you can just go in A and export it to BeamNG.Drive. All right, now as you can see, I'm happy with absolutely everything, and now of course let's move on to the next step. All right, my friends, now after you have created your car using Mr. Batteryman's files, or of course using my way, any way you want, his way or my way, you need to add those diesel magical files using of course this bit. You go into your documents, into BeamNG.Drive, and then you open the mods folder with which contains all of your cars. As you can see, all of my cars in BeamNG are here. And then of course you need to open your car, the car that you have created. As you can see, let's open for example this one, which is the Maserati thing. After you open it, you will get those two folders here. You can of course go to vehicles, go to the car, and then you'll have all this nonsense, all these files that that will show your car in BeamNG. Anyway, what you need to do right now is to add the diesel love. You can do that by of course using the Mr. Batteryman's mod. For example, this Maserati Italia diesel thing is using an inline 4 engine, and I want to use also an inline 4 diesel, so I go into the i4. Look at that, ETK 800 inline 4 diesel. You select this file plus the diesel kit assist. You select those two, then drag and drop here into the car WinZip file. You drop, press OK, and that's it. The diesel is in, my friend. Yes, my friends, the diesel is in. Check it out. This is the car with all of its crazy files, and now you have the inline 4 diesel in, plus this diesel kit thing. Here you go. That's the one. So after you have dragged and dropped the correct engine, the correct diesel engine into your car. For example, if you are using a V8, you drop the V8 and this together, you drop them in the car, and that's it. Or if you are using an inline 6, you select those two, drag and drop them in your car, and that's it. You have diesel in your car. The next step, of course, is to fire up your BeamNG so we can see what will happen. All right, my friend. Now, after, of course, you have finished creating your car, dragging and dropping the diesel files in your documents in your BeamNG car, everything is ready. Then you fire up your BeamNG game, and then you select your favorite map. As always, select the car then that you have created in automation game. As you can see, I've selected this car, which has the naturally aspirated inline 4 engine, as you can see. Yes, look at that flat curve, as you can see, super flat, super low on horsepower. And of course, look at the RPM limit. Yes, 4,000 and I don't know, 300. So everything is ready for the diesel. Everything is absolutely ready. So what you need to do to activate the diesel is you go to vehicle configuration. You select diesel tank first so you can feed the engine. Of course, this one will shut off because we are running diesel, not fuel. As you can see, it will shut off or shut down. So then you open this, you select the ETK. This is on the inline for diesel. You select this one, and now we have basically a basic diesel engine under the hood. Look at that, it's running and everything, using, of course, yes, using the engine, the automation game 3D model. But what we have here, yes, this is the BeamNG model that I was talking about. This is the one that you want to replace if you want to. If you don't want to use this 3D model, you can, of course, replace it with this one. But remember, you need to make a very important bit. Even if you don't want to use this 3D model, you need to configure it correctly, because right now there is an excessive weight, or an extra weight on this side of the car, because in BeamNG this whole thing is like a giant 3D model thing. So basically this is connected to the car, and it's an excessive or an extra weight on this side. So what you need to do is you need to grab it and, of course, put it in here. Even if it's useless, even if you don't want to use this 3D model, you need to drop it in here so the weight balance of the car will be perfect. You need to do this bit. This is a super important bit, so the handling of your car will be perfect and will not be all over the place. So you can do that, of course, by doing it like this. You need to go, first of all, now forget about the tuning. We'll talk about the tuning in a bit. Now let's focus about putting this thing under the hood. Right now it's in mid longitudinal, mid-engine longitudinal, which is wrong. This car is using a front longitudinal, which is this one. Select it. After you select the correct engine placement, you go into tuning and you press the reset. Check it out, many things have changed, the precision, the correct position of the engine. Press reset and then press apply, and now the engine will be in the correct position. Yep, right now the engine is correctly positioned in the front of the car. So what we need to do right now is need to grab it and drop it in the middle. You can do that, of course, but on this slide here thing, right now it's 2 to the left. Yes, 2 to the left. So you need to set it onto 0. 0, it's in the middle of the car. So you do like this, press 0, press apply, and now this thing will be in the middle. Here we go. If you want to use the 3D model provided by BeamNG, you need to align it correctly so you can cover up the automation engine. Yes, if you want to use this 3D model, you need to cover up the automation model so you can see this one only. Now you can do that by, of course, going to the debug menu, and then you select the free camera. Right now I'm using a free camera. As you can see, if the camera is too fast for you, you press Alt, and then you scroll down with your mouse, and now check it out, it's slower, it's more controllable. Right, now let's go back to the tune so we can tune our engine and cover up the automation model. You select this live update, so anything you do here will be applied immediately. Let's go in. Here we go. Let's of course put the camera in the correct position area. Here we go. Now it's in the correct position. As you can see, this is the 3D model from BeamNG. It's much bigger than the automation version. Of course, you need to, let's see, where's the engine? Here's the engine, here's the automation engine, this red thing. We need to move this thing back. So this red thing here is the automation 3D model engine. So you need to move the BeamNG engine back using, of course, this thing, front and rear. Let's go a little bit to the rear, you know, let's say, I don't know, let's try 0 for a start, like this. Oh, as you can see, we went too much to the rear. We need to go a little bit also to the front. So you need to, you know, play with it a little bit until, of course, you find the sweet spot, the spot that everything line up and everything covers up, absolutely everything. No, not yet. As you can see, it takes a while. All right, my friends, as you can see right now, we have covered up the automation engine, the automation 3D model. Everything is covered, I mean, front to the rear, as you can see. Now, what you need to do is you need to, because the engine, as you can see, it's still, you know, coming up from the hood, which is not really realistic. So we need to drop it down a little bit using this one. This is the ground clearance, or, you know, the height of the engine from the ground. So let's drop it a little bit, you know, so we can make sure everything lines up correctly. Here we go. Let's see if this thing is hitting the ground. Yes, this is too low. So you need to make sure that everything is perfectly tailored. Yes, now as you can see, nothing is showing up from the hood. And when you go down, as you can see, the ground clearance is somehow acceptable. Let's check it out from the inside. As you can see, it's lining up perfectly. Here's the intake from the automation game, you know, sticking out from here. Here is the exhaust also from the automation sticking out from here. So it's pretty much realistic, as you can see, with all of its crazy looking from BeamNG. So it's up to you if you want to use this 3D model engine or not. As you can see right now, it's perfectly in place, but if you want to increase it a little bit extra, you know, if you want to make sure, you know, if you have like enough ground clearance, if you are building like a rally car or something, yeah, but make sure nothing is sticking out from the hood, so everything looks, look at that, there's a little error here. So let's go back. So yes, it takes a while. Here we go, it's perfectly lined, as you can see. Yep, everything is lined correctly. It's in the middle of the engine bay. Nothing is showing from the automation engine except those amazing fixtures and everything. So I pretty much, this thing is done. Now the 3D model is in its place, which is absolutely awesome. Now what you need to do is, of course, you need to move on with the next thing, which is, of course, tuning your engine. Now it says the engine 3D model, which is this one, is visible. Okay, I'm happy with it. ECU, of course, select sport, unless of course you want to drive this thing with 97 pound-feet of torque, which is not really cool. So select, look at that, from 97 to 100. We have increased the torque a little bit. Use the heavy-duty long block, you know, to prevent the block and the internals from exploding when you introduce them into power. Flywheel, it's up to you. There is heavy-duty, sport, ultra. Oh, I always select ultra light because it will make the RPM shoots very quickly. Stock radiator, no, never go with stock. The car will overheat. Go with a high-performance radiator. This way it will never overheat. All right, now basically your engine is ready if you want to drive it like this, naturally aspirated, but of course you need to disable these triangles or whatever. So you go into your engine placement, this one, the debug thing. Yes, now invisible, here we go. They will go and disappear. Yep, now the car basically is ready. You can drive it. Yes, right now we are running diesel. Everything is beautiful, everything works perfectly, but the car is not fast at all because it's naturally aspirated. It's rubbish, really. Alright, my friends, now let's give the engine an extra help because it's really slow. So you go into the forced induction, you open it, you will get two options, primary and secondary. We've talked about those two in the diesel video. That means you have two options to go through. You open the primary, you can get a supercharger on your engine only, or a turbocharger only, or a twin charge system. A twin charge system is basically using a turbocharger and a supercharger at the same time on the same engine. It's like this Danish car, the Zenvo ST1, and many other crazy sports cars. They use this system because it will make the most amount of horsepower. So let's select twin charger because basically it's the best option. I always use it, and it will give the most amount of course of horsepower. So twin charger system is in. As you can see, those annoying triangles are back. You can, of course, because you can put a 3D model turbo, but it will look wrong because it will be on the other side, and the turbo and the exhaust is from here, this side. So no, don't use it. Just select invisible because it will not look great. Let me show you. So if you select visible on the 3D model turbo, it will be here. It will be on this side, as you can see, on the right side of the engine, as you can see, which is not really great. But the exhaust is from here. So it will not really line up. It will be super wrong. So I recommend don't use it, because unless of course you want to see it, but I mean it's not really lining up correctly. So everything is done. Now let's start tuning our car. Now as you can see, you have many options here. You have the RPM, you have air fuel ratio. We will talk about those in a minute. You have the fuel volume, the engine layout. Now this is done. We've already lined up our engine correctly, so don't touch these. The engine physics, also don't touch these. Supercharger. All right, now if you want to get the most amount of horsepower, follow my steps. Basically the power or the PSI limit, you can leave it like this. The engine will work. Right now we have like 252 pound-feet of torque and 162 horsepower. Very nice, but I want more. You can do that by pushing this to the max. Leave this to these two are basically the volume of the supercharger, how loud your supercharger wants it to be. You can increase it or you can decrease it and make it silent if you want to. This thing, the rate to the intake, that means the throttle response. If you want the engine to be super responsive, I recommend to leave it stock. Friction, also I recommend to leave it stock. Overdrive all the way to the max, so you can get the most amount of horsepower. Now the turbocharger, this is the wastegate offset, or how much boost basically you want. If you want to leave it on 0, it will work, but if you want to get the maximum horsepower, shove it all the way to 100. Now this is the audio, or the volume of the boost noise coming out of the turbo. I recommend like 135, and basically that's it. Your car basically is ready. Press apply. Look at that, my friend. 191 pound-feet of torque at idle. Look at that, 411 pound-feet of torque and around 296 horsepower, which is absolutely awesome. Everything is looking perfectly well. Now, a last thing, as you can see now, you have this massive drop in horsepower and torque. That means this is the last bit of the RPM is useless. So push this to 5,000 only. Press apply, and that's it. Your car is ready, my friend. Let's see the difference right now. Remember, the gearbox, everything is tuned correctly in automation game. So, wow, this is diesel. And check out the wheel spin, the speed, the acceleration. Very nice. Look at that. A drift machine, a diesel drift machine. Yep, you can create drift machines, drag racing machines. You can create absolutely anything you want with the diesel. If you tune it correctly, you can create masterpieces, rally cars, anything. Oops. So as you can see, the car is an absolute masterpiece. And remember, this is the Mr. Batteryman way. Natural aspirated engine. I've chosen his way. I've chosen his dummy file and absolutely everything. And as you can see, the car works very well, as you can see. Now let me show you my way, which is the other car that I've created, which is this one. Another version. But this one, well, it was of course exported with the turbocharger. Check it out, my friends. Now this thing was exported with the turbocharger. As you can see, this is the automation turbocharger. The same gearbox, the same settings, the same absolutely everything. But check out the weight. This is the weight of the car. Check out the front tires weight. This is 321 and 351. This is 361, 352. As you can see, this one is a little bit heavier because we have the automation turbo 3D model, with its extra weight. But basically, all of them are absolutely identical. Now, let's see this extra weight, what will do with the car, with the car performance. Look at that. you can hardly notice it. So it's up to you, my friend, if you want of course to see the turbo, if you want of course to see the engine, the correct automation engine, you can of course use the engine from automation game and of course export the turbo with it, you know, and of course be realistic, because of course every turbocharged car is a little bit extra heavier from the natural aspirated car, because you have extra piping, the intercooler, and absolutely everything in front. Or of course you can go with the other way, which is of course using the natural aspirated engine. As you can see, look at the turbo, look at the boost gauge here, and of course there is no turbo under the hood. So it's up to you. So it's up to you, my friend. You can go realistic, or of course you can go crazy like this one. It's up to you, my friend. But remember, always remember, my friend, you need to put the engine, the 3D model, in the correct position. Even if you are planning on using the automation 3D model engine, you need to put the BeamNG 3D model, you need to put it here inside the engine bay, so everything will be absolutely perfectly balanced, of course. So this is an example, of course, of the inline 4. Let me show you an example of the V8. Now this is a great example of the V8 diesel, of course, in BeamNG.Drive and automation game. As you can see right now under the hood, I'm still using the automation V8 3D model. As you can see, I didn't use the BeamNG 3D model because I really don't like it. But remember, I also moved the 3D model from here to the engine bay in the correct position, so the weight will be absolutely perfect. Yes, don't worry about this, because the car didn't move yet. When I move it, this thing will be perfectly measuring, but right now it's not measuring correctly. Anyway, so under the hood we have a twin turbocharged diesel V8, also supercharger and turbocharger at the same time. Look at that, 720 pound-feet of torque and 427 horsepower. So check it out. Oh my god, 3.5 tons of drifting. So as you can see, my friends, everything is perfectly tailored. I think the V8 suits heavy machinery and very awesome towing machines. Now, since we have this massive beast here, so my friends, let me explain something. Now this is the air to fuel ratio here. Basically, this is how much smoke you want the exhaust to shoot out. Right now this is the default, which is 100%. As you can see, this is the amount of smoke, as you can see. But if you go fully on, this is basically running coal. Yep, check it out. This is on idle. This is the idling, my friend. This is the smoke coming out on idle. Basically, right now, this is a diesel. As you can see, a lot of smoke. It's like running coal basically all the time. So this is also a very cool option by Mr. Batteryman. Now the final thing that I want to show you, which is a very special thing, which is of course an inline 6 diesel powered special vehicle. Alright, my friends, now this is a very special vehicle that I want to share with you, also running diesel. This is the 2017 model of the Porsche 911. This thing is running with an inline 6 under the hood, inline 6 turbocharged of course, running diesel fuel. As you can see, it's rear-wheel drive and it's awesome in every single way. So this thing is making, let's see, this thing is making around 600 pound-feet of torque and 431 horsepower. We have dual clutch, we have rear-wheel drive. So let's see. Here we go. My friends, this thing drives so nice indeed. It's super balanced, it's super awesome, and I really cannot believe this thing is running a diesel engine. Can you imagine real 911s running a turbocharged diesel engine under the hood? It will be absolutely very awesome. As you can see, it looks absolutely tremendous, and of course it drives super balanced and super brutal. As you can see, rear engine, rear-wheel drive, dual clutch, beautifully designed, because this is my own creation. This is the Porsche 911 TD version. I've made the regular 911 and the GT3 911, and this one is the TD version. So my friends, that is pretty much it. But remember, my friends, if you tune your diesel car to perfection, if you love it and you are happy with it, and if you don't want your tune to be lost forever, make sure after you finish tuning your car with everything, and you are happy with it and absolutely everything, make sure to save it. You press on the name of it, and then you press on the override, and that's pretty much it. The car is saved. Every time you open this car, it will be ready with your tune, so you can have fun with it and of course smash it all the way to the max. So that's pretty much it, my friends. I know this was a long video, but of course I wanted to explain absolutely everything. As you can see, this is the Porsche 911 TD. It's available right now on my Patreon page, the link in the description below, plus all of the other Porsche 911 models, the GT3 and the base one. Also, we have the Police, which is this one, the Titan, which is of course the current prize for the Cop Car Challenge. The winner of that challenge, of course, will get this special vehicle. As you can see, of course, this car was made with a twin turbocharged V8, not this diesel V8, and of course the petrol version is much faster than this. This is actually a little bit slower, yeah, because it's super heavy, and diesel engines are not really super powerful. They are super torquey, but not really super powerful. But what I'm really happy with is of course the Porsche, and of course this thing, those two cars. This thing is a drift missile, a diesel drift missile, and that Porsche is just brilliant to drive on the track, because it's a brilliant car indeed, and both of them are super efficient. The Porsche can do around 40 mpg, this one can do around 37. I mean, that's super green and super fast at the same time. So that's pretty much it, my friends. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Give a big thanks to Mr. Batteryman in the comment section below, and of course on my Discord you can thank him personally. And of course, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about this diesel mod? And of course, it's available. If you want to download it, it's available also right now. The link in the description below. Don't worry, it's free. Anyone can download it and enjoy it. Don't worry, my friends, it's free. Download it, enjoy it, and of course, tell me what you think about it in the comment section below. So that's pretty much it, my friends. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I'll be seeing you with more special videos very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for all of you, my friends.